STN Sports is the only sports betting app you need this season. STN Sports has it all. In-play betting, mobile parlay cards, the Play Plus card to fund and withdraw from anywhere in Nevada, and the latest lines on every game. STN Sports even lets you earn rewards on every bet. Safe and easy betting from your phone or tablet. Go to stationcasinosports.com or sign up at any Station Casino, Fiesta Wildfire, or the El Cortez. Details at the sportsbooks.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball. That's the truth.
Snare and hard kick. This is it. The cocaine and the crack. They all sound the same to me.
There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
That's how I'm living.
That's how we do it. That's just the way it is.
That's the reason why I came to you. Drink and women and money.
I got a mic that works now. JB, the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you the grease, waking you up early in the morning. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me through all of those technical difficulties. Man, they didn't warn me about that today. But today we're talking about the Final Four. The money is in the bank. You're talking about it. NCAA championship. The big games are here. And again, you can watch these games on FUBOTV. Go to FUBOTV.com/JB. I'm hooking you guys up with the 7 days free, 15% off to get you where you want to be. You can watch these games. Also got the women's championship coming up again last night. Huge upset. Dogs were barking. Iowa taking down South Carolina. We're going to be talking about it today with my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets. You can follow him on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. I'm going to see if he's on the line yet. You guys have been waiting for the grease. Ron, are you there with me this morning? Go ahead.
I am here, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I didn't know what was going on. My regular mic didn't seem to be working, Got to get rid of those technical difficulties. Not a fan of it, but I did find a microphone that was working here. Again, at the KSHP studios, AM 1400, VSX Digital Sports Networks. You guys are listening to Vegas Scoreboard Express live.
Vegas Scoreboard
every single Saturday and Sunday morning here on KSHP, AM 1400. Also, you guys can go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Click the live link. You get your FUBOTV. Got all the daily deals. You guys know we're known for the deals here at KSHP. So let's jump into it, Ron. The college basketball has been live. The dogs were barking all year. We've got some big games this day in the men's NCAA tournament. But let's talk about the women's tournament just for a little bit. This young lady, Caitlin Clark, balling out of control, doing what she does best, scoring the basketball, putting these ladies ahead, and they were able to come out with that win and beat the South Carolina Lady Cocks, getting it done, dropping 40 points for the second time, 41 points, the most college points scored by a man or a woman in the tournament. So you got to give grease where grease is due. We talked about this Iowa team a little bit over the past few weeks, just for their hard-nosed basketball, the way they play. But I'm telling you, this Caitlin Clark chick, I think she's going to end up being the number one pick in the WNBA draft, or maybe, one of these overseas drafts. Not too sure about that. But like I'm telling you, the women's tournament, plus 500 yesterday. How do you think that they're going to fare in that championship game? Because they're going up against the LSU Tigers. They were able to get there in the second season of their head coach, Coach Kim, getting these girls where they wanted to be. So you're talking about a women's basketball championship right now with two teams that a lot of folks really didn't have in their bracket. Everybody had South Carolina storming to the Final Four, which they did, but they weren't able to be successful. So, Ron, tell me what you saw yesterday, and then we'll get into some of these point spreads and see what we can do today for the men's Final Four. Go ahead.
Caitlin Clark, man. Whoa! She played impressive. That was Larry Bird-like, Magic Johnson-like. She took the game over and willed this team to win.
I mean,
that was really impressive.
I mean, and you don't see,
juggernaut.
Yeah, you don't see that a lot in college basketball. Just to give you guys a quick anecdote, here in Las Vegas, we had the NIT. I was at the semifinals this past Tuesday. Saw a couple of games. I saw Wisconsin absolutely melt down in the second half. The whole crowd was for Wisconsin, and these guys weren't able to get it done. They lost to, I think, North Texas, and then I was watching the UAB versus University of, it's like UVU.
I think it was Utah Valley.
Utah Valley State University, yeah, something like that. Utah Valley University. Now, the cool thing with them is they jumped directly from a JUCO school to a Division I school. So to see them make it to the NIT semifinals, give them some grease where grease is due. Credit is due to them. They played a good game, but, ultimately North Texas, Conference USA, in the men's basketball postseason, the most dominant team, and they've also picked up now 2 of the championships that are out there. So when you talk about it again, like I said, these big conferences, the Power 5 conferences on that side of the game, where do you see that going for the women's side? Do you still think you're going to see the power conferences dominate? Because if you look at the women's NIT today, it's going to be Kansas versus the Columbia Lady Lions, so another small school going all the way in one of these postseason tournaments. So when you talk about it from that perspective, Ron, how do you see the men's tournament going forward and the women's tournament going forward with seeding? Because a lot of these smaller schools haven't been getting respected with seeding, but have been playing their butts off and getting to these championship rounds. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think you'll see the mid-major thing in the women's game because you still have good coaches in the women's game, popular coaches. You still have Dawn Staley. You have the lady, what is her name at LSU? Kim Mulkey. I keep forgetting her name. Kim Mulkey.
Yep.
You still got Gino at UCONN. You have main coaches where girls want to go play. And you don't have that in the men's game. So that's why you're seeing them go to the mid-majors. They'll go play for a young coach that nobody knows of and knows how to build a program. And we're seeing it now. Look at Florida Atlantic. I didn't know anything about them before the year started.
Right. Like I said, they were a football school. Football schools.
Yeah.
They were a football school. A lot of people were, looking at what Lane Kiffin was able to do with their football program to bring them to respectability and then go over and take that job at Ole Miss. But back to the college basketball thing. So we got a lineup here for the LSU women tomorrow, Sunday, April 2nd. And again, today is April Fool's Day. Again, you guys don't get fooled at the book. Stay tuned to KSHP, Vegas Scoreboard Express, AM 1400. When I get back from this short commercial break, more with my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, waking you up early in the morning, giving you the grease. Final Four, we're here. This is where the money can be made, and when we get back, we're going to give you those rotation numbers for the women tomorrow. If you want to start taking a look at that, and then be sure to stay tuned tomorrow for our full analysis of the championship game versus those LSU women and Iowa women. Shout out to what the ladies were doing. It was Women's History Month, and man, did that young lady, Caitlin Clark, make some history. Again, any shout-outs before I take this short commercial break, Ron? Again, you guys can follow Ron over on Instagram at RaiderHawk1 or go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Check out his profile and get with it. When we come back from this short commercial break, we're jumping right into that Final Four, giving you the picks that you need to make today. All 4 games on the line today, starting at 6:09 Eastern Time and 8:49 Pacific Time. It's a big time down in Houston, Texas. A lot of the money to get made in that Final Four. But, Ron, go ahead with the shout-outs, and then we'll get going. Rock.
Yeah, I got a couple family shout-outs. My brother, Richard Best, and my sister, Joni Carey. I hope you're both listening. You're doing well.
There you go. Loving it. So, again, when we come back from this short commercial break, stay tuned. Want to give a shout-out to my main man, Lee Berg. He was able to hook some things up for us. Hope you're listening out here in Las Vegas. Again, all you folks in Las Vegas and all my sports bettors listening live around the world on all the major sports betting apps, podcast apps. You got Spreaker, you got Spotify, TuneIn. You dig it up, you'll find Vegas Scoreboard Express. So stay tuned. Grab your bankroll. It's time to wake up early in the morning. Let's get that money.
You're listening to the boss of the big boy, JBTHETICKET. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Burger from Farmer Boys. Beef, bacon, cheese, hand-smashed avocado, and fresh veggies. Best burger champ. That's how we drop the mic. Farmer Boys. Farm food ain't fast food. Farmer Boys' new always crispy fries stay crispier and tastier all the way home. If they make it home.
Sharing is caring.
Farmer Boys. Farm food ain't fast food.
Jumpers Jungle Family Fun Center is an indoor children's jump and party space in Las Vegas located at 2050 South Rainbow Boulevard. Kids of all ages can come and jump on our bouncers, race through the obstacle courses, speed down the mega slides, slam dunk into the basketball hoops, and much more. Are you looking for that perfect birthday party venue? Look no further. Jumpers Jungle has a party package that will fit your needs. Check out the open play schedule online at jumpersjungle.com or call 702-463-JUMP. It's time to jump your way to fun at Jumpers Jungle on the corner of Oakey and Rainbow.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with FUBOTV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get FUBOTV. You're tuned into the VSX Digital Sports Network.
Fire, more heat.
This mix is rude.
You're listening to the boss of the big boy.
Vegas Scoreboard Express.
That's right, Las Vegas, all my sports bettors around the world. No technical difficulties on this one. I'm waking you up early in the morning here. KSHP AM 1400, giving you the grease to put the cash in your pocket. Turn it up loud. The men's March Madness Final Four NCAA tournament is getting ready to come to an end, and I've got the picks that are going to put the cash in your pocket today. This April 1st, April Fool's Day. Don't get fooled at the book. You guys got to get over to BetUS.com. That's where you're going to be able to get the grease today. I'm going to be giving you all the picks. If you can bet online and want to get an online account set up, that's where you're going to want to get it. Got my main man, Ron, third down, best bets, back on the line with me. Ron, how you doing? Are you there this morning? Are you ready to jump into it?
I'm still here. Let's rock and roll.
All right, let's lock and load. We're talking about it today for the Final Four, the men's matchup. Everybody's talking about these guys. Came out of nowhere, the number 9 seed, Florida Atlantic, rotation number 701. The Owls are on the lookout for the Aztecs down in Houston, Texas. Rotation number 702, the San Diego State Aztecs. Now, right now, the line is -2.5. San Diego State over and under plus 131, 131.5, depending on where you're going to get it. And talking about that money line, Florida Atlantic plus 125 today. So let's go ahead and jump into it and see what you think. Now, Ron, I'm taking a look at this game, and I'm talking about records. Who is the better team? Well, when you take a look at it from an overall perspective, you've got FAU coming into this Final Four at 35-3. They have been winning when it counts, 11-3 on the road for their last 14 games. San Diego State, very, very respectable, coming out of that Mountain West. Shout out to Mountain West. They're representing 31-6. Okay, so against the spread, San Diego's 19, 15-2. They tied it. FAU 24-11-1. So we're talking about a really tough FAU team here. They have beaten major schools to get to this point, and now they're going against kind of a premier of the mid-majors here in San Diego State. Not to discredit them for anything that they've been doing, but this is a dog that's barking if you want to talk about how to put cash in your pocket. You're talking about a team right now in FAU who are beating all of the trends. Their head coach has them playing at a high level. So talking about that neutral game system that they're doing in the NCAA tournament, where they are down in Houston tonight, how do you think that FAU is going to fare? Because I don't think that this team is, quote-unquote, a Cinderella, like people are saying. That record speaks for itself, and their play has been speaking. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm going with the Owls. Woo, woo. I think they're definitely going to pull it out today. I do. I think San Diego State's primarily a really clamped-down defensive team, and I don't think they'll be able to do that to Florida Atlantic. I just think Florida Atlantic is going to be too good, too physical, too strong, too good.
Right. Now, their head coach, Dusty May, I think CBS Sports has just named him Coach of the Year, College Basketball Coach of the Year. And I think that's the way you should do it. And, again, talking about that Conference USA, Conference USA still being represented in the Final Four. So imagine if Conference USA made a full sweep of all of the postseason tournaments. Like I said, you had NIT champions North Texas. You had the CBI champions, UNC Charlotte, and now you've got the Florida Atlantic Owls trying to push. So, from that perspective, when you talk about Power 5, do you think the NCAA committee is going to be looking to give a little bit more grease to these Conference USA teams? Because, again, the Power 5 conferences, Big Ten, ACC. I mean, you do have the ACC in there with Miami. I mean, that's fine. We'll get into that one. But you really got the Mountain West. You've got Conference USA, and then I think you've got the Big East, Connecticut, if they're still kicking around in that thing, I don't know. And then you've got Miami representing the ACC. But going back to this Florida Atlantic situation, talking about their head coach, if he wins the championship and just getting to the Final Four, do you think he's going to come back next year? Because you know how these coaches like to jump all over the place. That's what we were talking about with the recruiting at the mid-majors. It's easier to go play for an unnamed, no-name coach, but as soon as he makes a name for himself, if you were a kid that was recruiting and looking for an opportunity, he recruited you, you signed, or you're leaning towards them, do you think there's a chance he could possibly leave and put a lot of kids in the transfer portal? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think in his situation, it'll probably depend on, the status of the kids, like how many sophomores or freshmen he has. I'm not sure of their classes, if he's got a lot of returning kids. I mean, if he's got majority of that team coming back, I would think he would come back. I mean, it's not a fluke. This is a real team. I mean, this is built to last. So,
but we saw that with St. Peter's last year. We saw that head coach leave St. Peter's and then go over to Seton Hall and absolutely get mollywopped. And that's what I've been seeing a lot in the college basketball. So let's not be surprised if we do see that head coach change, and we may want to check it out and make sure that he gets locked and loaded again. KSHP AM 1400, Grease, nothing but the grease, waking you up early in the morning with this NCAA Men's Final Four college basketball. Talking about the Florida Atlantic Owls. So let's talk a little bit about San Diego State because, again, let's give them the grease that they're due. They made it to the Final Four again. The Mountain West, another mid-major conference, pulling some strength in this college basketball world. So when you talk about the coach, Brian Ducher, looking at opportunities around in college basketball that are coming open, do you think that he could possibly move on? Because what he's been able to do for San Diego State, these guys have had great coaches. They had Coach Fisher for many, many years when I lived down in San Diego, but now they've got their new head coach. He's winning. He's getting these guys to the Final Four. He said, it's not the end-all, be-all, but when you look at it from that perspective, from the head coaching standpoint, who do you think has the edge here? Two young coaches that we haven't heard a lot about. And shockingly, because they don't talk about the players at all because of the NIL. But we haven't heard a lot about these coaches in the media. Coaching edge, who do you give it to, Florida Atlantic or Ducher over at San Diego State? Go ahead.
I'd probably go with Ducher at San Diego State because and I can't remember his name, but the guy from Michigan, he's the one that really turned this program around.
Yeah, Steve Fisher. Yes, go ahead.
Steve Fisher, yeah. And I know he learned from him. Steve Fisher was a heck of a good coach. So I would probably give him the advantage because I know he was there for a couple of years with Fisher and got some experience there. I still don't think it's going to matter, though. I still think we're looking at the Owls.
Yeah, I mean, the Owls are just playing at a high level right now. They've had some rest. They've been able to watch the tape, and they have been able to put something together. So me and my main man, we like the Owls. If you guys want to take them, rotation number 701 +2 in the spread. That's what I like. I like them in the spread. They got to win it, okay? +125, a little bit expensive as a dog bet. But, again, if you want to take them in the points, if you're not scared, take a money line, +125. The total could be in play today. This is a high-scoring tournament. We've seen it a lot. Two high-scoring teams, +132. That's where it seems to be at on the live bet from a scoring perspective. How do you think these guys are going to come out? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean, right now you got FAU.
We're past the strategy point now of the tournament. Now, these guys know each other. They've seen each other. It's just going to be whoever can put their will forward and execute better.
That's a very good point. And if you're talking about edge, rebounding, FAU has an almost 4-rebound edge. San Diego State gets 39 rebounds a game. FAU, 42 rebounds a game. Assists are close, 14-13. But if you look at that points total of what they've been averaging over their last 10, FAU, 78 points. San Diego State, 71 points. So I'm telling you right now, take a look at that points total as well. That can put some cash in your pocket. I'm talking about going over that point total. Let's jump into the next game. You got the Miami Hurricanes, rotation number 703, plus 5.5, plus 203 on the money line, over 149, going up against those angry dogs, the Huskies. Came out to Vegas and got robbed. You know they didn't like that, but they said, we're going to the Final Four anyway. We're going to send some kids home. We're making it happen. Connecticut, minus 5.5, minus 245 on the money line. UConn Huskies. Coach Hurley has got these guys playing at a high level. They're playing really under the radar all year, but they've got some really good players, and I'm talking about this kid right now, Sonogo. This guy plays basketball, man. I mean, I don't like his little slow jump shot, that little push shot, but he gets rebounds. He plays big in the paint when he does go into the paint, and the opportunity for these guys, again, on the rebounding side, almost 5 more rebounds than Miami. Talking about the average for Connecticut today, again, rotation number 704, 42 rebounds a game to Miami's 37 rebounds a game. And the assist total, also a full 3 assists more than Miami at 17 to 14. So you're talking about the points total today of 149. You've got Miami coming into the last 10 and the tournament averaging 79.6, and you've got Connecticut averaging 78.8. I'm thinking that this is an opportunity right now, even though Miami averages a point or two more, they've got a really big, tall order ahead again to pick up those extra rebounds and to pick up those extra assists. And when you got guys like Sonogo, you've got a baller in Hawkins. Sonogo's averaging 17 points a game. Hawkins averaging 17 points a game. But Connecticut does it by committee. You got 4 guys in the starting 5 averaging over 10 points a game, double figures. You got Wong at 16, Miller at 15, Pack at 13, O'Meara at another 13, and then they got some guys coming off the bench picking up a couple of points as well, and Poplar and Joseph. So when you talk about by committee, do you think it's too early to write off Miami today? Plus 5.5 does look like a spread that could be barking, but that plus 203 on the money line. How are we going to get value today on that parlay? Talk to me, Ron. Go ahead.
Well, Miami blew my bracket up last week, so I'm pissed at them. So, yes, I'm going against them. I was going to take UConn anyway. UConn's just on fire right now. I would not want to run into them. They're like a freight train just heading to the title. You could see it. I mean, they're focused, they're pissed, and they're just playing good basketball.
Definitely they are, and let's talk about it again from the side. Rotation number 703, Miami, Florida. Again, if you guys are just listening, you're listening to JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express here live on KSHP, AM 1400 every Saturday and Sunday morning on the weekend, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Got that morning show coming up. You guys are going to want to stay tuned for that. Go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com, for all of those updates. I'm kind of liking Miami in this one in the points as well, just because they score a lot of buckets. And when you're talking about a team that can come in really, really early and get, say, maybe a 5-10 point lead. One thing about Connecticut, the offense. If the offense isn't clicking early, they could get into a little bit of trouble. But when I come back from this short commercial break, more with my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, talking some more college basketball. Again, you guys are going to want to stay tuned for it. Want to give a shout-out. I think your guest is sitting there with her. Kayla Trader, appreciate you listening to the show, getting all your friends and family to listen. You guys are awesome. Again, thank you so much for contributing to the show out in L.A. And again, you guys here in Las Vegas, tune into KSHP every single weekend to get hooked up. I'm giving you the FUBOTV. I've got Paramount Plus. If you guys want to watch that NIT game again today for the ladies, the Columbia Lady Lions versus the Kansas Lady Jayhawks, they're going to be on CBS Sports Network, and you can get CBS Sports Network on FUBOTV. So again, don't get cabled. Get FUBOTV. So let me take this short commercial break. When I come back, you guys be sure to support the sponsors and keep it locked here at KSHP AM 1400. You guys know what time it is. Time to get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Vegas Scoreboard Express, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 6 on AM 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas. Online at KSHP.com.
The best choice for convenience, comfort, and value, My Place hotels are ideal for both short-term and long-term travelers. The rooms at My Place features pillow-top mattresses, microfiber bedding, and a variety of soft and firm pillows. All extended stay rooms offer their own kitchen, which includes a full-size refrigerator and a cooktop. On-site laundry facilities are also available for extended stays at pet-friendly My Place hotels. Book your stays online at myplacehotels.com. My Place Hotels, St. George and West Jordan, Utah. Make My Place your place.
This football season, stay in the game with FUBOTV. Over 100 live channels, including NFL Network, NBA TV, and FS1. Don't miss any of the action. Get 7 days free on us at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get FUBOTV. Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with FUBOTV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get FUBOTV.
Nothing but the grease, all the grease. Vegas Scoreboard Express, waking you up early in the morning here in Las Vegas. KSHP, AM 1400. You can also check me out on the website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Follow the show on Twitter at We Beat the Line, and you can also follow me on Instagram at JBTheTicket. Again, you guys are rocking with us this Final Four weekend NCAA tournament. Number 9 FAU made it to the Final Four out of Conference USA. You know, when I was over at the Orleans this past Tuesday, I want to give a shout out to all the guys over at the Orleans who were on the balcony with me, chilling with JB at the NIT. Appreciate you guys. Gave you some grease, breaking it down for you. And there was just one gentleman there who was mentioning Conference USA, said the best conference in college basketball. So I would have to agree with him in that relationship for this season. So San Diego State going up against FAU. This one's at 3 o'clock today. You guys be sure to tune in on CBS. You can get these on Paramount Plus. Go to VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Got that available for you. And, of course, you can get them on FuboTV. And then in the second game, you got Miami, the number 4 seed, the number 5 seed going up against the number 4 seed, UConn Huskies. So, again, got my main man, Ron, Third Down Best Bets, Vegas Scoreboard Express contributor. Follow him on Instagram at RaiderHawk1. Check out his profile on our website at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. So, Ron, bringing you back, talking more about this UConn team. Now, this is a team, like I said before, that they have been very, very streaky, all right? And they rely a lot on their front court to get them rebounds, to get second shots. A lot of three-point shots being taken by this team. But when you talk about it from the perspective of being evenly matched, Miami at 29-7, UConn at 29-8. Very similar teams. And the way the line makers are giving you the opportunity today to make some money, I think that plus 5.5 is barking, because Miami is not going to allow themselves to get beat. If you talk about how they were able to come back and get that 88-81 victory over Texas past Sunday, this is a team that you got to watch out for. And Connecticut likes to get out to early leads, or they like to kind of play some stifled defense. But I think Miami and Coach Jim Larrañaga is coming in today with a little more heat. I think Larrañaga is one of those coaches who's always been knocking at the door, and I think he's a little bit more hungry to try to get to that championship game to put Miami on the map as a full-fledged basketball school. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, I think this is going to go down. I mean, I think Sanogo is going to be the difference at the end, personally. It's going to be a dogfight. I mean, I think last minute you're going to see a 2-3 point game, but I think Sanogo is going to be the difference. I don't think Miami has anybody can shut them down when it comes down to crunch time.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to crunch time, the only thing I don't like about Sanogo, guy can't hit his free throws. You know, something about, these big guys not, working with the skills trainer on that. But when you talk about Miami, who's got 4 guys averaging in double figures on that starting five, and then you've got a pretty solid bench coming in as well. And they go relatively deep. I think these guys play about 9 guys, so you're going to have fresh players coming in and out. I think it's going to be a close one by committee today. I mean, if you look at that total team stat, points per game, the Miami Hurricanes, again, rotation number. Again, you guys can get these guys over at BetUS. The rotation number on Miami, 703, plus 5.5, plus 203. Some of the best grease that you're going to get today over at BetUS. And Miami rotation number 703, again, going up against Connecticut, rotation number 704. Now, Connecticut minus 245. You know I don't like those expensive money line tickets. But if it's one of those alumni bets, do you think this is going to be an opportunity for these Connecticut Husky alumni to make some money? I mean, we do like to see when people go in for those $1 million bets and then, it's April Fool's Day, bad things happen to them. It's like, oh, well, what were you guys doing? It's just one of those terrible situations that happened to the UConn ladies. Do you think that's going to happen to the UConn men today? Go ahead.
Yeah, it could. I mean, this is going to be I think it's going to be a really great game. I mean, Miami could easily pull this out. I mean, I really think it's going to go to the end. I think UConn will win in the end, but it's going to go back and forth. I really think you're going to see a really tough battle. Didn't the Houston guy bet $1 million on the Cougars winning it?
And went down the toilet, unfortunately. Yeah, that was a loss for that guy.
If I was the alumni, I might stay away from the big bets on this, but...
Ticket blow-ups all across the board. You guys are definitely want to look at Miami. That's the grease I'm giving you today. I like the Miami Hurricanes, plus 5.5. Take them on the spread. Rotation number 703, plus 203 on the money line. Let's jump back into that first game, though. Florida Atlantic, man, the game that everybody is talking about. This one is not given a lot of value, though. Again, rotation number 701, Florida Atlantic, plus 2.5, plus 125 on the money line. I'm not seeing the value here. I mean, it's an easy pick for me. I mean, Florida Atlantic plus 2.5 going against the San Diego State team. That this is probably going to be their toughest tag up all year, because San Diego, again, has been playing under the radar. But that number 9 seed, man, it's just something about these guys, the way they play and the way they beat people. It's just not something you can look past today. And I've been seeing a lot of people go, well, they're still a small school. They're not going to be able to win going against these guys. But, I mean, if you just look at that points per game average, FAU is averaging 78, and San Diego State averages 71. That's very, very telling. Go ahead.
Well, when people talk like that, is the Mountain West that much better than, their conference? I don't think it is.
No, definitely not. I mean, these guys out here are throwing stones, man. What are you talking about?
I've been reading that too. Everybody's saying, well, San Diego State, their conference is better. I don't think it is. Look at the tournament. It really isn't.
It's definitely not better. And again, UNLV's got to definitely pick it up out here. Shout out to UNLV. They didn't get a postseason tournament invite. They probably should have paid that money and went to the CBI or whatever. Brought some more basketball here to Vegas. But Vegas did have college basketball in the city this year. Again, shout out to all the folks making that happen, keeping the grease rolling. But FAU has won by committee, and they play very hard-nosed, straight to the knuckle defense. So I don't think that the San Diego State Aztecs are going to come into this game and run away with it. Just on statistics alone, FAU is better record, better points per game, better rebounds per game, better assists per game. The only thing that you don't really see today is that value on the money line at only plus 125. I mean, it's like, how are we going to make sure that we add some grease into that? And I'm telling you right now, take the total, 132. Do you think these guys are going to be able to get over that? Because the statistics based on the mode, not the mean, and this is me being a little bit of a math teacher, the average is what these guys do over the course of the season. The mode, if you listened and paid attention in math class, is what they do the most during the season. And FAU has cracked 70 points more times than not this season. Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, I think they'll hit the over. I do. That's 132. That's pretty low. I mean, I think they will, yeah.
Now, first half is 65, over, under 67. These are close numbers. And again, like I said before, these teams are going to go out there and play hard. They're going to open up the passing lanes. That's one thing that I like about FAU. They play a widespread game. They kind of get to the basket, and they do get a lot of rebounds. I mean, every one of these teams are shooting a 3-ball, but when you look at what Florida Atlantic has been able to do, they play even basketball. Very hard to get big leads against them because they just push, and they push, and they push. And if you talk about it, the only team that they lost to over this last couple of weeks or whatever was FAU lost to UAB. which was a team that, again, went to the NIT championship. So, again, these guys have played against championship quality caliber teams all season long. And with San Diego State, again, being one of those teams coming in right now, let's not take away any respect from them. It's just that the way this game is set up, if Florida Atlantic doesn't get into early foul trouble, they can keep the pace moving quickly and get those easy baskets. I think it's going to be a dogfight between San Diego State and Florida Atlantic. So when I come back from this short commercial break, got more with my main man, Ron, third down best bets. Let's talk a little bit of football, man. This free agency in the NFL seems to be a little bit stagnant. Jets are still kicking around. They just said that they do not want to take any of those demands from Aaron Rodgers and all that crap that he's talking about. You got to pick up all these players. What do you think is going to go on in the NFL free agency? I think a lot of the GMs are looking at the draft, man. A lot of quality edge rushers. This is a quarterback-heavy draft at the top. You got C.J. Stroud. You got the guy Bryce Young down in Alabama. We're going to talk about it when we get back, Ron. But in your opinion, do you think the NFL free agency might need to change its time period to maybe post-draft? Because what I'm seeing right now is a lot of teams are probably waiting until the draft, and it's keeping a lot of fans and the bettors on bated breath and on edge, trying to see where these players are going to go. You know, the Raiders just picked up Jimmy Garoppolo, but have they picked him up any other weapons? Like I said, Devontae Adams, I don't know if he's going to want to stay, man. You know how that goes. Pick monsters is a pick monster. I don't care where you go. But you got to get an offensive line out here in Las Vegas. And like I said before, that O-line, you've been messing up with Alex Leatherwood, picking up all these trash heap guys. Great offensive linemen in the NFL draft. So like I said before, Ron, you think the NFL guys are just waiting until the draft happens to start making some power moves, trading up some draft picks? Because right now free agency is kind of ground to a halt with this Aaron Rodgers stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a feeling we're going to see some actual draft day trades. I think everybody wants to see what 1 and 2 do, see the first two quarterbacks, and we're going to see some people jumping out.
That's what I'm talking about. Stay tuned. Ron, third down best bets. When we come back, more NFL draft, and then we're going to touch some more on this NCAA tournament and get you out of here to get to the book this morning, to put some cash in your pocket, waking you up early every Saturday and Sunday morning. KSHP, AM 1400, giving you the grease that you need. Follow me on Instagram at JBTheTicket. Follow the show on Twitter at We Beat the Line. You know what time it is. Time to grab that bankroll, hit the window, or hit that internet, hit that app, and let's get some money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET. Vegas scoreboard. Giving you that grease.
Basketball season is heating up, so stay in the game with FUBOTV. Get the NBA, NCAA, FIBA, and more. Get 7 days free at VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Don't get cabled. Get FUBOTV.
Shopping is always easy with the Radio Shopping Show. Whether it's shopping during any one of our live shows right here on AM 1400 or listening live on the KSHP app, you can always call in at 702-221-7283 to pick up great deals with your favorite host. Or shop 24/7 at KSHP.com. Go to KSHP.com and select Shopper's Guide to browse hundreds of businesses featured on the show. Place your order online and we'll have it shipped right to your front door. With so many possibilities, it's hard not to shop.
The Klondike Casino is a friendly local spot that features their signature restaurant, the Klondike Grill, serving up fresh food fast. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner just off the 95 freeway on Sunset Road in Henderson. You will find the Klondike Casino, featuring all your favorite games from the Strip in the comfort of a neighborhood casino. You can place a bet at their full-service sports book, or start your day with a breakfast plate that comes with your choice of potato and toast. Or check us out for lunch or dinner and try one of our many sandwiches, like the popular beer-battered fish sandwich or the Philly cheesesteak. Check out the full menu at KlondikeSunset.com.
Yo, you in the mix. World's finest, man.
And I had to come to him.
The DJ keeping the party going. The DJ keeping the party going all night long.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET.
Vegas Scoreboard Express.
Giving you the grease, waking you up early in the morning here, KSHP, AM 1400, waking you back up. You know what time it is. Time to grab your bankroll, hit the window, and beat the line. Rocking with the boss of the big board, JB the Ticket, Vegas Scoreboard Express. Nobody does it better. Nobody gives you more picks that win and put that cash in your pocket. Got my main man, Ron, third down best bets, VSX Digital Sports Contributor, back on the line with me. Ron, good morning again. Let's go ahead and lock and load and give these guys some of this NFL draft grease. So I'm telling you right now, NFL draft this April 27th. You guys can watch it on FUBOTV or go over to VegasScoreboardExpress.com. Get on some of those live picks. We're going to be having some of those mock draft picks coming up for our selections where we think the team should go. And normally we're right about that. We have been the last couple of seasons. So talking about these NFL draft for a little bit. You guys know the Final Four is today. We're going to finish out the show with that, but just want to still touch on what's going on in the NFL world. So we're talking about the Raiders. I'm taking a look at something right now on CBS NFL pre-draft. These guys are talking about taking a quarterback out of Florida, Anthony Richardson. I'm telling you, don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, Anthony, and it's not a bad thing for you. It's just you do not want to get into an early year or early season quarterback thing. I mean, he could be an otherworldly talent. Trade for him when he gets an opportunity. But to waste the number 4 pick on a bench quarterback, I don't think that is the immediate need right now. I think the Raiders need to start focusing on that offensive line. You got Jimmy G. You know Jimmy G can be a pick monster sometimes. You know what I mean? So got to make sure that you give him some protection back there. And if Devontae Adams wants to stay, you know, you kind of pissed off Darren Waller, you know, traded him out to the New York Giants. He just got married to Kelsey Plum, plays for the Aces and all of that. So it's like, you know, you lost your tight end. You got a quarterback. Who's going to block for him? We need weapons. To get a project quarterback at number 4, Raider Hawk. Ron, third down best bets. Follow him at Raider Hawk 1 on Instagram. You are the biggest Raider fan that I know. Tell me if you think that's a good idea. I think it's a terrible idea if they actually go through with something like that. Go ahead.
Well, right now we're actually at number 7, not number 4.
Oh, okay. So you guys are at number 7. All right, I can give you that.
All the mocks are saying we're going to trade up to 4, but right now we're still at number 7. But Anthony Richardson's not what we need right now. I want the kid Witherspoon out of Illinois. He's the best cornerback in the draft. Our DBs are terrible. We can't stop anybody. Our defensive backs are like Swiss cheese, man. There's so many holes in that.
Yeah, that's why we lost all the games last year. And, you know, what? And you were just talking about DBs. Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why we lost all those games last year, those close games, because at the end of the day, we couldn't stop anybody. He's talking about Devon Witherspoon out of Illinois, 5'11", 181 pounds, redshirt junior. Looks like he's going to be one of the first DBs off the board. But I think the more immediate need, Ron, is that offensive line. I mean, the Raiders have to start scoring points. This dink and dunk offense that we've been seeing over the last couple of years ain't getting it done. Last year, these guys were throwing it down the field. Everybody just focused on picking up Devontae Adams. Waller didn't even get a chance to play, and I told you they were going to get rid of that guy. Remember, JB the Ticket's giving you grease. I told you, man, he's hanging out in the tunnels doing all this charity work. Didn't seem to be too focused on football, and they shipped him out to the NYG. But talking about it from the defensive back standpoint, do you really think that that would be the best move? I think some of these DBs can come a dime a dozen. I mean, you do get some first-round talent who, you know, Sauce Walker last year. Shout out to the Jets. Sauce Walker was doing his thing. And that's the kid from Cincinnati. But you're talking about a season right now that the Raiders have to make a move. You got the Super Bowl coming here to town next year. How great would that to be the Las Vegas Raiders hosting the Super Bowl, playing in the Super Bowl a la Tampa Bay with Tom Brady when he got there the first year during that little bit of a COVID season, but whatever they call it. But like I said before, this is a team that needs offensive line help. And when you talk about the offensive linemen that we have and the trades and the things that we've made, you got Paris Johnson. He's sitting up there, number 1 guy off the board at Ohio State. You got Peter Skoronsky. And I'm getting this from Draft Tech. These guys are pretty good. Shout out to drafttech.com. These guys are excellent. He's from Northwestern. Broderick Jones, tough player out of Georgia. You know you can count on those guys from Georgia. So I think that the Raiders need to focus a little bit more on that offensive line. And, I mean, if these guys do trade up to number 4, is there a possibility they maybe go for a stout wide receiver? There's quite a few in this class. Go ahead.
I really hope not. I really hope not.
You're looking for DBs. I'm looking for O-line. Go ahead.
O-line I can deal with. DBs, yes. Even a linebacker. I mean, we lost Denzel Perryman. We need a linebacker now.
Oh, no, that's right. Oh, man. A lot of trades. That's what I'm saying, man. Free agency. the way the NFL is going right now, especially here in Las Vegas, you guys are going to want to stay tuned to this Vegas Scoreboard Express when I get back, finishing up with these Final Four picks. A lot of great talent in this NFL draft. I looked at what was going on at the Combine. You had a lot of guys, a lot of linemen running those 4.6s, 4.5s, man. Very, very quick offensive linemen. I mean, the Raiders would do a great job maybe cleaning it out, picking up a couple of veterans, shore up that offensive line. Because, I mean, if you bring in a new quarterback and he starts getting sacked all over the place, we don't want to see that. We want to see them win. You guys play in a dome, so you don't have to worry about weather. I think it'll be a great opportunity. But, Ron, before we get out of here, take this short commercial break. Give me a quick shout-out, and then we'll come back. Go ahead.
Yeah, for Scotty Harriet, Thousand Oaks Latin Subaru. Another good fan of the show, brother.
Thank you so much, Scotty, for listening. Again, you guys want to give a shout-out to Scotty Beam Him Up Webb. He's going to be coming back on in the next couple of weeks for some Major League Baseball. You might want to go to my website, VegasScoreboardExpress.com, for some of his exclusive content, the Web Report. You can also check out his website at MLB-daily.com. So when I come back from this short commercial break, we're going to finish up with the Final Four. That's right, the men's Final Four today. Going to be a big set of games. You got Florida Atlantic going up against San Diego State, and you've got Miami going up against those UConn Huskies. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you my final picks of the day and then get you out of here so you can get to the book. You know what time it is. Time to grab your bankroll, hit the window, and get that money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JBTHETICKET. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Giving you that grease.
Vegas Scoreboard Express, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 6 on AM 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas. Online at KSHP.com.
Is your dog suffering from a sensitive stomach? Hi, it's Kelly the Cookie Lady from Mooch's Munchies. Our dogs had super sensitive tummies, and I needed to find a low-fat treat that wouldn't give them gas or other issues. Most of the treats on the market were loaded with fillers, chemicals, and chicken fat. Many of them weren't even food. Well, I knew I could do better, so I developed Mooch's Munchies, and I'm happy to be able to share them with you. Stop by our store or our website, moochesmunchies.com, and find out why we say that Mooch's Munchies are totally pawsome.
Keep it locked with your boy on the ones and twos. Going in on the wheels of steel.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball.
The cocaine in the crack. They all sound the same to me. There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from.
That's how I'm living. That's how we do it. That's just the way it is. That's the reason why I came to you.
Drink and women and money.
JB the Ticket Vegas Scoreboard Express back at you live. KSHP AM 1400. Want to give a shout out to my guy Poker Boy. That's right, Poker Boy Music, Poker Music. You can follow him over on Instagram. Search for the Poker Boy. He gave me a shout out on his mixtape ride this week. Again, shout out Poker Boy. Appreciate everything that you're doing to help promote the show. Ron, Third Down Best Bets, back on the line with me here. KSHP AM 1400. Getting ready to jump back on this Final Four today. The game starting at 6:09 p.m. Pacific Time. Rotation number 701, the Florida Atlantic Owls. The big dogs coming into this game. Rotation number 701, Florida Atlantic. I'm telling you right now, plus 125 on the money line, plus 2.5 on the spread. I'm giving these spreads to you from BetUS.com. Again, go over to BetUS.com. One of our sponsors. Sign up, giving you a 125% bonus on your startup. Going up against San Diego State. Rotation number 702. Minus 2.5, minus 145. Total 132. Ron, we're going to wrap it up. Let's talk about it. San Diego State, do you think the Mountain West is going to get the mid-major into the championship? Or is it going to be another Conference USA representative? You know, Conference USA over 17 wins this NCAA postseason. You're going to definitely want to keep an eye on it if you're a college basketball fan next year. But it could be a lucky season. But talk to me. FAU or San Diego State, who do you like?
It's the Owls.
Nothing but the Owls. He's giving you the little hoot hoot. You guys know what time it is. He's telling you take rotation number 701 in the points, 2.5. And then rounding it out, talking about this other team today. Not really. We don't want to hate on them like that. But Miami, you guys know I love my Miami, the Sunshine. State down in Florida. Rotation number 703 plus 5.5 plus 203 on the money line. Over and under is 149. Again, these lines being given to you by BetUS.com, one of my sponsors. Connecticut, the UConn Huskies came out to Vegas, got robbed, but these guys are a dog that's barking, and today they are a huge favorite at -5.5, -245. That total is still live in play. I'm liking the total in this game. I think both of these teams are going to fight hard, but if you're talking about a dog that's scrappy and has already beaten one of these super teams that we had the tournament thinking that they were going to go off and beat everybody, I like the Miami Hurricanes at that +5.5. But Ron, what say ye? Go ahead.
Lucky for you, I can't bark, but I'm going with the Huskies.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, you can bark. We're going to give you the bark right there. Nothing but the bark. The dogs are barking again. Final Four here in Las Vegas at the book. Online, you guys are definitely going to want to bet it. Get those rotation numbers in. 701 Florida Atlantic +125 on the money line. Florida Atlantic, Miami, Florida. You got Miami-Dade and Broward County representing heavy right now. The whole East Coast of Florida, South Florida is going to be rocking for the Final Four. JB the Ticket want to give you a shout out. Make sure that you know that you guys are still listening. And then again, talking about that night game, the Connecticut Huskies, 703-704, Miami versus Connecticut. So, again, Ron, thank you so much for your contributions today. Kayla, thank you so much for stopping by, giving us a shout-out. Any final shout-outs, Ron, before we get out of here? Because that clock is rolling, and it's time to get to the book, get to the window, and get the money.
My usual brother, American Cancer Society. Let's keep the fight, guys.
That's right. Keep the fight. You guys are going to want to stay tuned. Ron's going to be setting up his betting channel for that, so he's going to be raising some capital. Also want to give a shout-out to Linwood Hard Rock Hamilton. I know you've been working hard with us, Linwood, staying in tune. The NFL season is coming back. You guys are going to want to lock in for his specials because he's going to be breaking down some of the best defensive players in this NFL draft coming up April 27th. You're going to want to stay tuned and get that on FUBOTV. So, again, thank you guys so much for listening today. KSHP AM 1400 every Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to be back tomorrow early in the morning for you at 6 a.m. giving you the women's championship analysis and talking about the games that happened today and the women's also tomorrow. Don't forget the women's, and also talking about that men's championship that's going to be coming up right after the Final Four. So you guys are going to want to stay tuned here. Follow the show on Twitter at We Beat the Line. Follow me on Instagram at JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express. Grab your bankroll, get to the window, and get the money.
You're listening to the boss of the big ball, JB the Ticket. Vegas Scoreboard Express, giving you that green.
The world-famous radio shopping show weekday on 1400 KSHP North Las Vegas and KSHP.com.